Boxing ring, and Howard Cosell, who was then a famous announcer for ABC Sports, introduced it. And I was asked at some point to get Mr. Sinatra Listerine. We're at Madison Square Garden. It's not like there's a Listerine store at Madison Square Garden. So I dutifully ran out and found a drugstore of some sort. This is before CBS.
Wow, this is just overwhelming. The colors are so intense, they completely overpower every scene. The original had a soft, enchanting glow. A cozy dwarf's cottage, a warm and inviting forest, and Snow White's delicate charm all blending together like a dreamy fairy tale. But now, it's as if someone cranked the saturation to the max. Neon hues explode from every corner. Flowers are so unnaturally bright they steal the spotlight, and those once adorable forest creatures feel more like stiff, lifeless props in a tech demo than beloved characters. Fans wasted no time expressing their disappointment online. Many had hoped the dwarfs would retain their distinct personalities. Doc's nervous leadership, Grumpy's signature scowl, Bashful's shy charm. But these CGI versions fall flat. Their expressions barely change, their movements lack personality, and they no longer carry the quirks that made them so endearing. It's as if Disney included them for nostalgia's sake, but forgot to give them any heart. Instead of lovable companions, they feel like awkward, misplaced extras. And it's not just the dwarfs. Even the iconic woodland creatures have lost their magic. In the classic film, Snow White's heartfelt interactions with rabbits, deer, and birds created some of the most emotional moments, adding warmth and charm to her story. Now, that signature Disney magic is fading fast.
Or to encourage more people to seek public office. It just is far more difficult. I've never been in it. What I observed, it's far more difficult to run.
Snow White's magic was always in the little details. Her kindness, her deep bond with nature. In the original, the woodland creatures moved with natural charm, seamlessly blending into the hand-drawn world. But now, they're so oversaturated they practically glow. Instead of feeling warm and lifelike, their stiff expressions and awkward movements look like something out of an early 2000s CGI experiment. And that's shocking. This is Disney, the same studio that delivered near photorealistic lions and breathtaking jungle landscapes. So, how did they get fairy tale forest critters? So wrong? What happened? Industry insiders whisper about behind-the-scenes chaos. Rumors suggest the project was bounced between multiple effects teams, leading to rushed schedules and glaring inconsistencies. Others claim the budget was poured into big moments, like the Evil Queen's transformation and high-energy action sequences, leaving the dwarfs and animals as afterthoughts. Whether true or not, one thing is clear: fans aren't happy. Social media is flooded with criticism, with many calling the visuals budget CGI, unworthy of Disney's legendary name. But this isn't just about bad visuals, it's about the film's very identity. Snow White's charm was always in its simplicity. It was never about grand, over-the-top effects. It was about her innocence, her heartfelt connection with nature, and the dwarfs' warm, quirky friendship. That's what made the 1937 classic so beloved. It worked because of its simple fairy tale charm, drawing audiences in with its warmth and sincerity. But this new version buries all of that under loud, flashy visuals, trying so hard to modernize the story that it loses the very magic that made it special.
A lot of us, it's easier for me than it was for Tom because I wasn't playing a character that had already existed in the previous films, and those performances are so wonderful that you don't want to try to recreate anything because there's the fear of failing miserably. But also, it's 64 years before the original films take place, the original books, and Francis Lawrence, who directed Catching Fire and both Mockingjay films, and Nina, who produced all of the Hunger Games content, they didn't put any pressure on.
Classics deserve timeless standards, and that's exactly where this new Snow White seems to stumble. Modern audiences expect mind-blowing CGI, whether from superhero blockbusters or hyper-realistic nature remakes, so when Disney, the undisputed leader in family entertainment, delivers visuals that look half-finished, it's a massive letdown. Fans aren't holding back either. Some claim fan-made edits look better, while others point out that rival studios have created more convincing fantasy worlds on smaller budgets. If they can do it, why can't? But the bigger issue is the disconnect between Disney's promises and its execution. The studio and cast insist they're honoring the original while modernizing it. But let's be honest, does this even feel like Snow White anymore? The dwarfs are barely recognizable, the animals look plastic and soulless, and the scenery is so exaggerated it loses all its warmth. It's as if Disney is prioritizing spectacle over soul, using respecting the classic as nothing more than a marketing tagline. But this isn't just about bad CGI, it's about what Snow White was meant to be. The visuals aren't just surface-level flaws, they reflect deeper changes happening to the story itself. Fans already fear that beloved plot points are being erased, and characters are being rewritten into something unrecognizable. Snow White was never about over-the-top special effects. It was about heart, wonder, and timeless storytelling. But right now, it feels like Disney's obsession with flashy digital tricks is actively stripping away the very magic that made Snow White special in the first place. And fans aren't buying it. At this point, whether Disney can fix these effects in post-production, or even plans to, remains unclear. Maybe future teasers will offer a better glimpse, but let's be real, the damage is already done. Even an improved trailer could backfire, fueling more skepticism. Instead of restoring faith, the dwarfs and woodland creatures have become symbols of a much bigger issue. In its desperate push to modernize Snow White, Disney is erasing the very essence that made it timeless. In its attempt to blend cutting-edge visuals with a beloved classic, Disney may have made the worst mistake of all, turning Snow White into just another soulless, market-driven remake. Disney's big-budget blockbusters usually follow a proven formula: flashy teasers, sleek posters, and an all-out social media blitz flooding every platform. But with Snow White, something feels off. Instead of a traditional global rollout, Disney took an unusual approach, restricting the first extended look to a select group of theaters for a limited time. Naturally, this only made fans more curious and more suspicious. Those who missed out scoured the internet for leaks, and soon enough, they got what they were looking for. But not in the way Disney intended. Blurry, low-resolution clips started flooding social media, offering a shaky, grainy glimpse of Rachel Zegler's Snow White and the now infamous CGI dwarfs. Instead of building excitement, these leaked clips ignited a firestorm of backlash. It almost felt like Disney was trying to control the narrative, limiting exposure to avoid criticism, but if anything, their secrecy only made things worse. By the time Disney finally released the official trailer, the damage was already done. Fans had made up their minds. The mix of leaked footage, conflicting rumors, and controversial cast interviews had already painted a troubling picture. And instead of putting out the fire, the official release only seemed to confirm their worst fears.